What is up, everybody? Happy Friday to all of you out there. Thank you so much for joining us here. Welcome to Guys and Bets, the live edition. I am Ninja with, of course, Joe Osborne. Happy Friday, Joe. And I know you're excited to have the NBA back because you're killing your NBA picks here since the NBA returned post-All-Star.
Yeah, I think I'm undefeated in our Guys and Bets videos.
Yeah, the quickies and the live show.
Combined with the Twitter picks, so just a game above 500, but still winning, barely, but it is winning. But I was thinking there when we were doing the intro at the top of the show, I was nodding.
Yeah.
And when you nod down, that's usually, fair, polite, like hello.
Sure.
But the nod up, that's rude, isn't it?
Is it?
It's aggressive. If you introduce me and I nod up like that, as opposed to, that's not good.
It's interesting psychological analysis by you. But yeah, you're doing really well with your NBA picks here since the league came back. So Joe's got 3 more from the association tonight. I've got a couple of Prem picks. Thankfully, European picks have been dreadful. Ice cold, even though spring is in the air, temperatures increasing. Footy picks, atrociously cold. IMAC, I know you had rough start to 2021. What did you do to snap out of that? Because I'm mired in an awful funk.
Just pretend like the losses don't happen. That's basically what I did.
Did you find that?
Because, I was cold for like 2 straight months. It was getting rough. So it got to the point where I had to just literally pretend like if I lost a bet, I didn't have any money on it and pretend it didn't happen.
Was it more for you, was it a mix of like bad capping and bad beats, or was it one stronger than the other?
I don't know if I want to say bad capping because I'm confident in my capping abilities. It was mostly in college basketball because it's worked out for me very well the past 2 years. Stats, like things that just weren't happening that the stats showed and should have happened. But also there was a ton of bad beats. Those 50-50 games where sometimes they'll go your way, sometimes they'll go against you. Ones that come right down to the wire, it seemed like almost all of them were going against me. So I think that's what kind of hurt me the most, more than anything. So, that's sports betting though. It's at the end of the day, it's luck. Yeah. Luck's going to turn around eventually.
I know that this week, Joe, we sort of introduced sort of a new, not segment I want to say, but we want to get you folks more involved with the capping here on Guys and Bets. We value the viewers out there and the people that stick with us. And so we encouraged you guys to share your bets in the comments section. I know the chat is active when we're live, but after the show is done, post those picks in the comments. And IMAC, I want you to read out a few, both from the Wednesday show and from GMB Quickies. I know you're not a part of GMB Quickies on Thursday. And this is more of a thinly veiled attempt for me to get some winners, is to tail you guys out there. But in all seriousness, share a few of those good picks there in the comments, IMAC.
Yeah, for sure. This is something we'll hopefully keep doing in the future as well. We want to give you guys credit when you hit your picks. Yep. So I got 2 from the Wednesday live show, 1 from yesterday. So on the Wednesday live show, Cody Wells gave out Loyola Maryland +3 against Army. Yeah. They actually upset Army and won outright, so great pick there, Cody. OBE Knows gave out Lionel Messi to score versus PSG +110. Ninja, you told me that was a beautiful goal.
Absolute banger, and it should have counted for more. It was that good of a goal. But yeah, great pick there with Messi.
Great pick, plus money. Another plus money pick, Jonathan Fernandez on yesterday's G&B Quickies gave out NCAA Texas Longhorns +115 as an underdog. I was on that bet as well. It came down to the wire. That was a fantastic game to watch. I was up to like 1 a.m. watching it last night. It was great, and they pulled it out right at the end against Texas Tech. So great pick there by Jonathan Fernandez as well.
And as a result, anyone who picked the winner earned my respect.
Yep.
As we
momentarily.
Said.
Momentarily. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 minutes after the bet hit, I thought of you and I acknowledged you mentally and I sent some respect your way. And that will continue. That is the award, that is a prize for doing a winner in the comments section.
There you go. So drop your favorite picks there in the comments section. Break them down a little bit. We do all of that here on the show, a minute or two, breaking down a pick, why we like it, statistics, analytics, whatever the case may be.
Unlike the guys on Twitter, I'm taking this team because LeBron sucks.
Yeah. Revenge factor.
That's Twitter capping right there.
Yeah. But yeah, keep doing that. Drop those in the comments section and we'll shout you out on the next live show. And Ian's got a couple of college basketball picks. But let's get things started in the association here, Joe. And you are going player prop heavy today.
Yeah, I'm not in love with the board in terms of sides and totals for the games today, but some great opportunities for some player props. We're going to start things off with the big revenge game. Jim Butler going against the Chicago Bulls. He's at 23.5 points. We're going over. Let's get right into this one. Butler is elite at getting to the free throw line. As he ranks 4th in the NBA in free throw attempts per game, he should be able to chip away at the line tonight, as the Bulls are allowing the 6th most free throw attempts over the last 10 games. He also excels at scoring in close, with half of his points being scored in the paint. And look what we've got here. The Bulls are allowing the most points in the paint over the last 10 games. And he's on a bit of a scoring tear right now, scoring 27 or more in 4 straight games. Give me Butler over 23.5 points.
There you go, Jim Butler to start off. Joe's capping IMAC over to you. It is Ole Miss and LSU. What do you like in this one?
Moneyline underdog alert. Just a little one, though. Little dog for a little moneyline underdog. That's perfect. That's fitting. I'm taking Ole Miss in this one. Got them on the money line here, plus 105 against LSU. So let's start off by pointing out that it's a bit of a stylistic mismatch in favor of the Rebels here. Ole Miss ranks 35th in the country in 2-point shot rate, and they're going up against an LSU defense that ranks 245th in the country in opponent 2-point field goal percentage. Outside of the stylistic matchup, Ole Miss is just generally a better defensive team than LSU. They rank 15th in the country in opponent floor percentage and 18th in defensive efficiency. Those numbers are quite a bit better than LSU's, who rank 186th in opponent floor percentage and 216th in defensive efficiency. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about rebounding, but there's a specific mismatch in this department that I think Ole Miss can really take advantage of tonight. LSU is one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the country. They rank 318th in defensive rebounding percentage, grabbing just 69%, nice, of boards in their own end. And this bodes well for Ole Miss, who is one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the country, as they rank 26th in offensive rebounding percentage, grabbing 32.4% of boards in their opponent's side of the court. I think it's a great matchup for an Ole Miss team that seems to be getting hot at the right time here. So give me the Rebels plus 105.
There you go. And Ian will have another college hoops pick momentarily here, but over to the Prem. And yeah, my picks are going so opposite that I was almost tempted to just take Arsenal in a bit of a reverse, because they got, of course, the North London Derby this weekend. But this is potentially real square, but it's Leeds hosting Chelsea. I'm going Chelsea here, money line. It was minus 135 earlier, now minus 140. But look, the way this team has played, they have yet to lose under Thomas Tuchel since he took over. And they've been incredibly clean defensively. 11 games under Tuchel across all comps. 8 wins, 3 draws. They've conceded just 2 goals. 1 to Sheffield United, which was a Rudiger own goal, and 1 to Southampton, both in the Premier League. Chelsea enters the weekend 4th in the table, 3 points back of Leicester, 2 points up on Joe's West Ham. Leeds, on the other hand, 11th in the table, currently mired in a real rough run of performances here. 5 losses and 2 wins in their last 7. They come into this one on back-to-back losses, capped off the score sheet in 3 of the last 4. They've conceded the 4th most goals in the league with 46. I believe they're second. They have the 2nd most expected goals against. But lastly, Chelsea spent a lot of money on attacking players in the transfer window, and Kai Havertz may be the most underwhelming of them all. Timo Werner certainly catches a lot of heat for missing plenty of chances, but Havertz really hasn't done much of anything. 1 goal, 2 assists in the Premier League, an XG of around 2. But I thought he was actually pretty impressive in Chelsea's last game, that 2-0 win against Everton. Completed 39 of 41 passes. He got himself in good attacking positions. He had a good couple of nice scoring chances there. I think it's a promising sign for the youngster, and I think Tuchel gives him another start here. Leeds, yeah, they're always going to be tricky with Bielsa there on the touchline, but Chelsea's been too good under Tuchel. Give me the Blues.
For all the best in sports betting and free picks, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Seriously, do these things.
All right, Joe, back to the association here. It is the Denver Nuggets at the GREASY Grizzlies. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at a player prop fade Nikola Jokic. He is sitting there at 25.5 points. We're going under. Here's why I like this. Bet the GREASY GRIZZ have made some tweaks, and all of a sudden they have one of the better defenses in the NBA. Over the last 10 games, they rank first in points allowed per 100 possessions and third in opponent EFG percentage. Their interior defense has been elite during this span, as they're allowing the fewest points in the paint, which is where Jokic scores over half of his points. To conclude, the Joker can be a bit all or nothing in the scoring department, as it's not rare to see him finish with a point total in the teens. Specific to this total of 25.5, he's gone under it in 8 of his last 13 games. Give me Jokic under 25.5.
All right, Mac, I know.
25% of his points, his games, he's finished in the teens.
That's
point
weird.
total wise. And then you look at his game logs, he's got a bunch of games in like the high 30s and stuff. So
feast or famine with him.
100%, yeah. And Valanciunas, hopefully he can lock him down tonight.
Mac, I know you're a huge Luka Garza guy, and you're looking at this Whiskey Iowa game. What's going on?
I mean, you know I'm going to back the Hawkeyes and my guy Luka Garza here, so let's get into it. I'm taking Iowa -4.5 against Wisconsin. Good luck keeping up with the Iowa offense tonight. They rank 3rd in the entire country in floor percentage and 20th in effective field goal percentage. Meanwhile, Wisconsin ranks all the way down at 167th in floor percentage and just 193rd in effective field goal percentage. Next up, of course, I'm going to bring up rebounding. The Hawkeyes have a sizable advantage in this category, as they rank 72nd in rebounding percentage, while Wisconsin ranks a lowly 223rd. And then finally, like you mentioned, Ninja, I gotta feel confident betting on my guy Luka Garza here. Far and away the best player in the country. He's going to drag this Iowa team deep into March. And don't forget, he's averaged 25.5 points and 12 rebounds in his 2 games against Wisconsin this season, so I expect another big one from him tonight. Give me the Hawkeyes, -4.5.
All right, over to the Prem here, and Leicester and Sheffield United here, of course. Sheffield holding up the rest of the Premier League there in the basement. Leicester at home here. I'm going to go Leicester -1. -110 in this one. And of course, the big news with Sheffield is that Chris Wilder is no longer the manager, which is a pretty big deal. Wilder has been a fantastic manager for this club. He's taken them from the bottom of League One to the Premier League in just a few years with basically minimal financial backing, always been overachieving. So it's kind of sort of sad to see this guy go. But on the other hand, this team has been awful all season long, and yes, there's been some injuries, but dead last in the Prem after a really good season last season when they came up. But even playing well in 2019-20, Leicester has really dominated Sheffield United. The Foxes have won 6 straight against the Blades across the Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, and the Championship, dating all the way back to 2011. Reverse fixture this season was a 2-1 win at Bramall Lane with goals from Ayoze Perez and Jamie Vardy. Harvey Barnes has been a big loss for the Foxes as he is on the mend, but he didn't even feature in the earlier meeting this season. And away from home, Sheffield has been at their absolute worst. 1 win, 1 draw, 11 losses, just 6 goals scored, 23 conceded. They've lost 5 of 6 away from home and 3 straight after somehow, someway, beating Manchester United 2-1 at Old Trafford back in January. Foxes fighting for the Champions League. Sheffield all but done and moved on from a pretty great manager. So I'll take Leicester -1. All right, Joe, finish things off here. The lowly Cleveland Cavs at Zion and the Pellies. What are you looking at?
Yeah, the Cavaliers, a team I don't have a whole lot of respect for, and we're going to continue the theme of player props. We're going to target Zion Williamson. He's sitting there at 27.5 points. We're going over. Let's get right into it. But Joe, it's the second game of a back-to-back. Well, I don't want to hear it, because this has been a spot where he's excelled, as he's scored 34, 36, 29, and 29 in his last 4 games on 0 days rest. Zion ranks 6th in free throw attempts per game and should see plenty of freebies tonight. Over the last 10 games, the Cavs are allowing the 3rd most free throw attempts per game. To wrap it up, as the league leader in points in the paint, I think he can dominate down low. The Cavs are in the bottom 3rd of the league in points allowed in the paint. Give me Zion over 27.5. Yeah!
There you go. 3 player props from Joe. I think that might be a first on the live show.
You know, I had some games circled.
You're witnessing history.
I wanted to target the Wizards tonight due to the fact that the 76ers have been really bad in the second game of back-to-backs, but Bradley Beal's questionable. So why would you bet on that? I see people do handicaps on Twitter sometimes and say, this guy's questionable, but even if he doesn't play, I think blah, 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 blah. Just wait till you get the player news, because the line, if he's going to be out, you'll get a much better deal on the line. So it's a non-starting point if a top player is injured for me.
All right, Ian. Picks are done. What's going on in the chat?
Let's switch it up and start off with the sport that we hardly ever, if ever, talk about on the show, and that's NASCAR. NASCAR expert wants to know if you have any NASCAR leans for this weekend. Joe, I know you've dipped your toe in the NASCAR world before. He did give his pick. He's on Kyle Busch to win at plus 800 this week. He said he's been great on this track. Did you look at any NASCAR, Joe?
Kyle Busch. That's not a bad pick, really. So I'm going to start looking at NASCAR a little bit now that we're a few races in, just like any other sports season. You should really hold off until you get a few games or a few events into the season. So we have a race going on at the Phoenix Raceway, I think it's called. And I like Kevin Harvick here at plus 650 to win the race. If your book offers top fives, if you want to play it a little bit safer, that's not a bad bet you can make either. And the reason I like Harvick here, I think, where is he at on the odds board? He has the third best odds behind Chase Elliott and Keselowski. I like Kevin Harvick. So his last 10 races here, he's finished in the top 10 every single race. 7 top fives. He's won it twice. So plus 650, not bad odds on Kevin Harvick. I don't think he's won a race yet this season, so maybe he'll get the monkey off his back here and take care of business on Sunday.
Cody Wells asks, Ian, do you like Arkansas versus Missouri? I'm staying away from that game. I think Arkansas is a 4-point favorite. I already have Arkansas as my future bet to win the SEC. This game concerns me a little tiny bit, and the reason being is because Missouri is an average team, and I say that in a complimentary way because they have no weak points. They aren't great at anything, but they aren't bad at anything either, and teams like that can be dangerous because if they just have a game where they play really well or they go up against a team that is having a not so great game, they can beat anyone in the country. So 4 points. I think Arkansas is an extremely public team as well, which is a little bit scary, but I'm staying away. Missouri scares me a little bit, and I already have enough invested in Arkansas for them to win the SEC. So stay away from me. Arkansas should win and cover. If you look at the statistics, they should. But like I said, Missouri, no weak points. They're just like slightly above average and everything. It's a little bit concerning in my opinion. Let's switch over to soccer here. Doug Lynch wants to know Ninja thoughts on both teams to score in Sevilla/Real Betis, currently at minus 107. Betis has scored in every match for at least 10 games and is firing right now.
Yeah, not a bad bet there. This one always a contentious rivalry game there in the city of Seville over in Spain. Again, I believe after the pandemic last year, this was the first La Liga game to mark the return of the league. But you want those fans there. Always a great game, always a heated rivalry. But yeah, I'm pretty sure like 4 of the last 6 in this derby, both teams to score. Traditionally, always back and forth. The thing about it this time around, Real Betis playing really, really well. Defensively, too. I believe this coincides with them not giving any more playing time to Marc Bartra. Because defensively, that was always the knock on Betis. They've always had that nice-looking midfield, nice-looking attack, but defensively, always an Achilles heel. So a bit more improved there. Sevilla's coming off the midweek Champions League game, maybe tired legs. But you throw all that stuff out the window in a rivalry game like this. So traditionally, yeah, this is a back-and-forth game. And decent little price there at, what'd you say, minus 107, minus 105? Somewhere in that vicinity? Yeah, not a bad shout there.
Let's switch to the NBA here. Jose Escobar wants to know, hey, Joe, how are the Magic plus 7.5 versus Spurs with DeRozan out tonight?
Yeah, I didn't realize DeRozan's out, but this helps.
Father's funeral, I believe.
Oh, really?
I think so.
That sucks. That's too bad. That said, I was kind of eyeing the Orlando Magic as a first half bet this evening, and let me tell you why. The Spurs have been horrendous in the first half, specifically at home one of the worst first half bets in the NBA on their home court. So you can get the Magic first half at +4. I think the Magic, they closed out the first half on a little bit of a first half run. And if you look at the team stats, match them up, they're pretty close across the board. Of course, Aldridge won't play another game for the Spurs now with DeRozan out. Magic +4. It's kind of hard to build a case for the Orlando Magic, whatever type of bet you want to make to support them. But I do think it's a pretty good spot at +4 in the first half.
Jonathan Fernandez asked thoughts on underdog money line underdog alert. UNC +125. UNC 5-1 neutral court offense, rank 83rd and desperate for a win to clinch March Madness, and also taking Oklahoma State versus Baylor. They're 8-1 last 9 games and ranked 55th in field goal percentage. UNC. My thoughts about that game is actually pretty similar to my thoughts about the Arkansas-Missouri game, and I tweeted this out last night. I think this UNC-Florida State game is the ACC final, especially so now that Virginia got eliminated because a guy got COVID. That sucks. So Georgia Tech's in the final. I think UNC and Florida State match up very well with Georgia Tech, so I think they're just going to destroy them in the final, whoever it ends up being. And I have a UNC futures bet to win the ACC at +550, so I'm not going to double dip on them tonight. What I might end up doing, and Florida State's, a very tough team to play against, because like Missouri, they have no weaknesses. They are good at everything, not fantastic at anything, but good at everything. So what I am going to do, if UNC gets out to a lead at any point tonight and Florida State becomes plus money to live bet, I'm going to hedge my UNC ACC futures bet with a Florida State live money line bet. But that's a big if, because who knows if UNC will even get out in front. I hope they do. There's a reason why I took them to win the ACC. They've been playing hot recently. They looked good against Virginia Tech, looked fantastic against Notre Dame 2 days ago. But I will not be betting UNC money line. I'm too invested on their ACC future +550. But
Ian, I have a correction I would like to make.
What did I say?
Not based on you. It was a mistake that I made, and we all make mistakes in life, right? You made your fair share.
Oh, for
and
sure.
on that last, he asked me about the Magic, and I said first half. First quarter is a spot where you want to fade the Spurs. So the Magic in the first quarter tonight, they're at +2.5. The Spurs are the second worst first quarter bet in the NBA, specific to on their home court. They're 4-15 against the spread, a -3.5 point differential, whereas the Magic closed out the first half as a decent first quarter bet, 7-3 in their last 10. So I'm going to go back to my desk and maybe cook that one up.
There you go.
First quarter bet, Magic +2.5. That would be the spot. Now, we all make mistakes, right, Ian?
Hey, it takes a big man to admit his mistakes.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Let's switch back to soccer here. OBE knows. Says Andrew, West Ham +0.5 at even money. Just saw Man U is likely without Rashford, Cavani, Marshall, but it's probably not pronounced that way.
Martial.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. Pogba and others. Why is the money line +350?
Yeah, weird. West Ham doesn't get respect. Flirting with the Champions League spots here in the table. They've been really good all season long. So that three-way money line price is odd. Yes, Agbana's been injured. That's big from a center back perspective there for the Hammers, but they've coped. They bring in Diop, and Craig Dawson's been solid. They won't have Jesse Lingard because he's on loan from United, and in the Prem, you can't match that up. But is he worth that much to the money line? Absolutely not. And yeah, all those players out for United, they look flat, completely uninspired against AC Milan yesterday. Bruno will probably be in the mix there. He's the heartbeat of that United attack. But, when you don't have Rashford, Martial's been brutal, honestly, all season long. So maybe Mason Greenwood has to play up top. He's not Cavani. He's not terrible. I'm a fan of Mason Greenwood. But still, from the midfield up, United is going to be pretty thin and potentially playing with a bit of fatigue after grinding out a result against Milan. I mean, Milan equalized at the death yesterday, so that's disappointing, especially in the wake of beating City. Very disheartening performance. +0.5 on the Hammers there. Pretty good shout. But that money line price, I don't know, man. I have to make a play on that one. I have to see the 11s, but yeah, no respect for the hammers.
Doug Lynch asks Ian, any leans on Colorado plus 1.5 for USC? Colorado won both times in the regular season. I mean, similar to the last two things I talked about, USC was my pick to win the Pac-12, so I'm not going to bet on this game tonight, and Colorado does worry me. And when I broke down Pac-12, I talked about how Colorado is going to be USC's biggest challenge because they can match up with USC's big men. USC's best player and probably going to be the second overall pick in the NBA draft, Evan Mobley, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Big center, big forward for USC, can dominate a lot of teams, but Colorado also has a couple of good big men that they can match up with well. So I'm not betting on that game. I'm staying away. I obviously like USC to win the Pac-12, so I lean towards them, but Colorado is definitely the toughest challenge in the Pac-12 for USC. Jonathan Fernandez asked, fun question for the boys since March Madness is almost starting. What is the best memory you have of the past March Madness years? Ninja, I think I know what your favorite March Madness moment is.
You referencing the Bryce Drew Valpo buzzer
your boy.
beater? No, that's not mine. I have to give that some thought here.
I'll go first then, if you
go
want to
ahead.
think about yours. The first March Madness I kind of paid attention to is Kemba Walker and UConn, so that one always kind of holds a special place in my heart. Cardiac Kemba, that was fun to watch.
I remember when Derrick Rose on Memphis missed all those free throws.
Yeah, that's right.
That's my favorite memory. No.
I don't know.
Someone failing in the clutch is your favorite memory.
I guess one of my earliest is Glenn Rice on Michigan, one of my all-time favorite college players. And not a game in particular, but all tournament long. He was just such a good player, such a good shooter. I don't know if that would be my favorite. Of course, UNLV in those Stacey Augmon, Larry Johnson, Greg Anthony, Anderson Hunt, Georgia Ackles days were super fun. Yeah, I mean, I get nostalgia plays a big factor for me, obviously, name dropping some of those guys, but yeah, it's always, March Madness is always, there's something memorable going on.
Jamie Vick's thrown out an NHL pick. We don't have one. We didn't have one on the show here, so we'll
Give
read
him the
off
floor.
He likes Ducks Sharks over 5.5 tonight. Gibson has been showing cracks for Ducks, and Jones gives up goals just about every time out. Sure, I like it. Post it in the comment as well,
Yeah,
Jamie
drop
Vick.
some NHL in the comments section because we don't get to do enough NHL on
Not
the show.
enough puck. Not enough puck.
Some puck in the comments.
Just trying to find another question here. Taylor Lee wants to know, do you guys ever bet against teams you root for, or are they off limits?
All the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the situation. Like, I'm a Raptors fan. I've bet against them a ton of times this season. I bet on, like Trae Young. I had his over yesterday, and he absolutely lit the Raptors up. I thought the Raptors were overvalued.
37 points or something.
Yeah, he went off. So the Raptors were overvalued a big chunk of games. I don't know if you're going to see that and get to take advantage of that in the second half. I bet against the Blue Jays a ton. Now, if it's in the playoffs, absolutely not. You know, I don't want to have my alliances or my allegiances in my head going two different ways, right? Because what's that, an emotional hedge or something? What people call that?
Amen.
Yeah. No, like if the Dolphins are in the playoffs, absolutely not.
Stay away.
I might bet on them if I think, I have the logic to back it up. But yeah, I'll fade my team, especially in the baseball season, man. 162 games.
Yeah.
100%.
I do it all the time as well, especially with Tottenham. The end of Pochettino's reign there, and a lot of those rough Mourinho spots, I was emo hedging all the time. And honestly, was making pretty tidy profits as well. So this weekend with the North London coming up, I might just make a little play on the Arsenal money line. Then, if Tottenham wins, I still win because we've got the 3 points. And then I can go to all my Arsenal buddies, talk a bunch of shit. That's worth more than money. So
rub it in their faces.
I've done a lot of emotional hedging with Tottenham. Absolutely.
You pieces of crap.
Yeah.
Your team lost. Don't you love that?
Love it.
Call your buddy at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
You idiot.
I have not done it much in with the Niners, if at all. Don't do it a ton in baseball either, but yeah, we'll see. I'm not. I won't say no to it.
Ian faded himself, and he's the biggest fan of himself.
He's a
true.
huge
So
fan of
that's
himself.
the ultimate fading. Right there. He
Yeah,
faded
that's fair.
himself.
It didn't work either.
Yeah, that's right.
1 and 2 fading myself.
Yeah.
That was when you know you're on a cold streak when you try to fade yourself. It's never good.
I've thought about it, man. Recently, I've definitely thought about it.
Looks like I'll handle one more college basketball question here. Jamie Vick wants to know about Illinois to cover versus Rutgers. Line feels about right at -8. I agree. I think the line's right there. I think Rutgers is a little bit underrated. I think their stats are better than a lot of people think. But I also think Illinois might be maybe the third best team in the country. That might be better than Michigan, but probably definitely the fourth. They'll probably be the fourth 1 seed. So I'm staying away from that game. You said it. I think the line's set right about at -8. I think I'd go Rutgers if I had to be completely honest. But I hate it, so I'm not going to play it myself. That's it. Anything else you guys got?
No. As we know, lunchtime is approaching.
The lunching hour.
Hour.
Just a reminder, if you're watching live or if you're watching on YouTube after the fact, drop your favorite pick here from Friday's board or the weekend, honestly, in the comments section.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube right now, there's the thumbs up. Hit that.
And hit that as well.
Hit the thumbs up and
Tell
let us
your
know
friends.
your pick. Give us your breakdowns, and we'll definitely give you guys a shout.
Yeah, there's a lot of good cappers, I know, in the chat and lingering around after the fact. So drop those picks in the comments section. And Ian, I want to give you a little shine here. I know next week you're going to be dropping a little March Madness video. So the folks got to keep their eyes peeled for that.
Yeah, Sunday is, of course, Selection Sunday, so I will be making a video with kind of my thoughts on the tournament. We'll see how the bracket turns out. It'll be interesting. I'll give out a couple dark horses I like, my pick to win. So yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that on Monday. And another thing that I want to announce, we may as well announce it now. It's not going to be officially announced until next week, but you guys watching this will get a little sneak peek and be able to prepare for it. During March Madness, Oddshark is running a contest similar to the contest we ran 2 years ago, if you guys remember. But we're going to be looking for your guys' best bet of each day during the March Madness tournament. We'll be asking for you guys to send us a quick video, 30 seconds to a minute is plenty, of you breaking down your best bet. The more creative, the better. And if your pick hits that day, and also we'll either be showing it on Guys and Bets if we have a Guys and Bets show that day, or we'll be putting it out on Twitter some other way. If your pick hits, you win a $250 Amazon gift card. If your pick does not hit, that amount rolls over to the next day of the tournament. So if we get a couple losers in a row, it might be $500, $750, $1,000 Amazon gift card. So get your picks ready for March Madness. Whip out that video camera. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Just give us your pick and a quick breakdown for why you like your pick, and we'll choose one each day. So get ready for that. You can win some money.
$250 to Amazon each day?
Yep.
It rolls over, too.
And it rolls over. Yeah, we did this a couple years ago. It was super fun. A lot of great submissions every day. What would you do with $250 to Amazon?
I would buy... I would try to get some Austin Powers paraphernalia. Get the whole trilogy, VHS, DVD, see if there's any autographed Austin Powers stuff, and that's what I would invest in.
Oh,
Austin
man.
Powers memorabilia. If anyone has some, hit me up.
So there you go.
Unfortunately, we are not eligible to enter the contest, though. So
the sneak peek into what's coming up there for March Madness. But keep your eyes peeled for IMAX video early in the week, and we'll let you know what else we're doing for March Madness later on. Follow Joe on Twitter at JTFOZ, myself at Chalk_Ninja, and this guy at Iain MacOS. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know your favorite bets in the comments section. Break them down a little bit too. We'll give you shout outs on future episodes coming up next week. But whatever you find folks do with your bets today, Saturday, Sunday, and beyond, best of luck. Hit some winners, and we'll catch you next week on Guys and Bets.
Time for lunch!